And we're back. Terribly sorry about that, everybody, but you know how things go. I'm sure my mic sounds just a little bit crappier, back down to its usual crapulence, but at the very least, now everybody will be able to hear me, and I don't need to worry about my laptop melting down. Which is, you know, always a bit of a bonus when you're streaming. So, yes, in case you missed anything earlier, we tried some new things, they didn't work, so we're back to the old format. But just because we apparently now have to restart the entire thing, hello and welcome to yet another analog live stream. My name is Sigma. I've got with me Captain Buckman and GaleForce3192. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Okay, then I think we're back up to where we were. So, what have we learned? We have learned that Voicemeeter Banana is a fantastic audio driver program if you've got the CPU for it. I do not have the CPU for it. Now that we've learned that hard little lesson, let's go ahead and just compound the issue by now reading some horrible vampire fiction.
Yay!
I'm sure my fellow streamers can probably guess what I just played on the soundboard.
Yeah.
So yes, last time, absolutely nothing happened. Not even kidding.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything that happened.
Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Wow, great writing there. An entire chapter just...
Let's see. But yes, this time we will be starting on Chapter 8. And hopefully things will actually happen this time. One can only
My guess
hope.
is no.
Actually, I almost wonder, is it worse if nothing happens, or better? Considering.
It depends. It depends on what you're trying to, on what your goal is when you're reading, I guess.
Well, my goal is not to lose my mind, but one could very well argue that we crossed that bridge a very long time ago. But yes, hey Slayer, we're back. Finally. That was not fun. Hopefully we won't be having that issue ever again. But hey, it's a live stream. You never know exactly what's going to happen, and sometimes it's the sort of thing that breaks everything.
Very true.
Ah, yes, the holy innuendo counter. How I've missed it. Not even being sarcastic, actually.
Oh.
You never know what you're going to get with that counter. Anyway.
That's fair. That's true.
So, this time around, we're finally getting down to the little dress shopping trip to Port Angeles. Yeah, nothing's going to happen here either, is it?
Probably not.
Yeah, my guess is no.
Fuckity heckity. Okay, well, with that particular brimming amount of confidence in mind, let us commence with Chapter 8, Port Angeles. I forgot to put it in read-only mode. Whoops.
Oh no.
There we go, read mode. Much better. Okay. Jess drove faster than the chief, so we made it to Port Angeles by 4. It had been a while since I'd had a girls' night out, and the estrogen rush was invigorating. Estrogen rush?
Really?
That sounds less invigorating and more like you're sitting on the sofa, in your sweats, crying and eating a gallon of ice cream while watching, I don't know,
the Lifetime channel?
Yes!
You're welcome.
Come to think of it, that's how my mom spends most of her Friday nights. Huh. Weird.
Indeed.
Menopause does things to you. Anyway, we
I will
listened.
take your word for it.
We listened to whiny
Make
rock
you
songs.
rise.
We listened to whiny rock songs. You mean like the ones we've been quoting ad nauseum since we started this? Well, Jessica jabbered
Yeah,
on about the boys
exactly.
we hung out with. Jessica's dinner with Mike had gone very well, and she was hoping that by Saturday night they would have progressed to the first kiss stage. Oh, a girl who kisses on the very first date is usually a hussy. A girl who kisses on the second time not is anything but fussy. But a girl who waits till the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy. It's the Music Man, you uncultured gits.
It has been way too long since I've seen / participated in a version of that to have actually recognized that.
Yeah, I actually was not in... There was an elementary school production of The Music Man. I was not in it. This was actually like the year after I... Well, this was 2 years after, actually, I went to junior high, because my junior high was 6th through 8th. But
Okay.
my brother was... My little brother was one of the school board members, the tenor, specifically. Because for whatever reason, the school board... Because for whatever reason, the protagonist decided it would be an excellent opportunity to turn the school board into a barbershop quartet.
Okay.
It was a bit of a shit show.
I'm sure it was.
I can imagine.
But I digress. I smiled to myself, pleased. Angela was passively happy to be going to the dance, but not really interested in Eric. Passively happy? How
That's the thing.
how does passive happiness work? Does anybody know?
No.
Passive,
Yeah, I'm coming up with nothing, man.
passively happy. Like, what even is actively? Well, actively happy is pretty obvious, actually.
Yeah.
Actively happy is Pinkie Pie.
So does that mean passively happy as Fluttershy?
No, that's actively terrified.
But whenever Fluttershy is happy, I mean.
Yes.
Yay.
Best pony. She's extra soft. Anyway. Yes, we are all bronies. We apologize profusely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna be a major fan of a children's cartoon, you might as well be self-aware. Anyway. Jess tried to get her to confess who her type was, but I interrupted with a question about dresses after a bit to spare her. Angela threw a grateful glance my way. Yeah, this is why I don't like people. Port Angeles was a beautiful little tourist trap, which is why nobody's ever heard of it, I'm sure. Much more polished and quaint than Forks. I don't know, Forks is pretty quaint. I'll give you polished, but I won't.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just my particular taste, but I've always considered polished and quaint to be kind of almost opposites, really. Like, something's quaint because of the weirdness of it.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Like, quaint is a general store / restaurant that's been open for over 100 years, and the roof tiles are falling off. And they have surprisingly good locally drafted root beer. That's served in, like, mason jars.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of places around here, so...
Huh. Yeah. I was actually thinking of a place up in Indiana, believe it or not.
Sure.
Yeah. It's kind of this tiny little stopover town that we, I remember us stopping for lunch in, kind of, when I was nearing the end of high school, and kind of looking around at colleges within the same, within the general area, and was considering IU. Didn't pan out, probably for the best.
Yeah, probably.
But found a love. We stopped in this tiny little podunk town that happened to have like just this one old timey style general store with a restaurant attached to it, and they had vintage sarsaparilla on the menu, and it was cool.
Oh, shucky darns.
Old timey root beer.
Yep. It was a butthole-sniffin adventure.
Oh my god. Oh. You are ready for one of those tonight.
I can't help it. I just want to go on a butthole-sniffin adventure.
Oh boy.
You know what? I think I know
What?
what the title. I think I know what the title is going to
Oh
be.
god,
Bear
no.
with me.
Oh no.
Well, it's a good working title, if nothing else.
I will give you that much and that much alone.
Oh, that's fair. That is fair. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
I missed something going on in the chat. Apparently, Windy decided to do an impersonation of Robotnik. I have done. Good thing I've got this.
No, that was like no reaction, and Slayer just quoted that. No.
I hope you realize I just drowned you out with a flood of Robotnik shouting no.
Yeah, it's like, remember my reactions, like, when you asked, it's like, does anybody know what passively happy means? And I was just like, no!
No!
And Slayer just quoted that, no.
No!
And that's when I was like, Slayer, but take it out of context, that quote makes it sound like I impersonated Botnik with that no, which I didn't.
Except you totally did.
I love.
Oh, I'm having fun with the soundboard tonight.
Oh yeah.
God damn it.
And it's a shame you guys can't hear it.
Not until it's too late.
Damn you, voice meter. Just damn you.
Yeah.
We'll figure this shit out eventually, guys. Who
This
knows?
is true.
Maybe, if I had an actual fan base, I might bother to, I don't know, set up a GoFundMe or something for a new computer.
Don't worry, Sigma. When I post that update video, I'm sure people will start watching.
Well, fingers crossed. In the meanwhile. But Jessica and Angela knew it well, so they didn't plan to waste time on the picturesque boardwalk by the bay. Oh, come on. Why not? Get yourself some saltwater taffy. Throw on a
Boardwalks are
sniffin' adventure.
Cut. Right when you least expect it. It strikes again.
Can't get away from the butthole sniffing.
Apparently not.
You ever have one of those moments where you say something and you really wish you hadn't said it? That's my life. That is just my existence in a nutshell. Jess drove straight to one of the big department store. Jess drove straight to the one big department store in town. Excuse me. For a second there, I thought we'd found another typo. I just forgot how to read.
Well,
Which was a few streets in from the Bay Area's visitor-friendly face. The dance was billed as semi-formal. I mean, I guess technically semi-formal's a thing, yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
And we weren't exactly sure what that meant. You know what? That's also fair. Nobody knows what semi-formal means. Lord knows nobody did when I was in high school. My mom told me to wear a tux to prom. I said screw that. I'm wearing my black pinstripe suit. And a red shirt.
Sounds like something I would do.
Because, happiness is showing up to prom dressed like Satan. Well, my happiness is anyway.
When the devil is too busy and that's a bit too much, they call me by name, you see, for my special touch.
Yes. Also, Also, rather amusingly, they decided to play Smooth Criminal. And considering I also wore a fedora to the dance, like a proper
Oh, good.
broad...
Oh my god, that's
I was
amazing.
I was literally dressed as invert colors Smooth Criminal Michael Jackson.
of the Michael Jackson suit from that video?
Woo!
Oh my god!
Lovely.
I couldn't have planned that.
No.
You couldn't plan that if you tried!
Now, if only I had half the dancing ability he had.
Mm,
I did okay.
Christ.
I didn't completely embarrass myself, that's the important thing.
that is important.
But we're not here to talk about the one thing I actually... We're not here to talk about the one thing out of prom that I actually got any enjoyment out of. No, we're here to talk about the fact that nobody understands what semi-formal is. Nobody.
Nobody.
At all. Both Jessica and Angela seemed surprised and almost disbelieving when I told them I'd never been to a dance in Phoenix. Well, gee, I wonder why. What do you guys think?
She's clumsy.
Okay, not only did you beat me to it, you also used the Butthole-Sniffin adventure voice. What the fuck? This is why we can't have nice things, Zach.
Yeah.
Because then you take them on Butthole-Sniffin adventures. At least when I take them on Butthole-Sniffin adventures, they get ice cream. Or saltwater taffy. Or something. Whatever the boardwalk's got, really.
That sounds so wrong out of context.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't sound all that
Yes, it does.
Truth be told, it doesn't sound all that right in context. Didn't you ever go with a boyfriend or something? Jess asked dubiously as we walked through the front doors of the store.
No,
Really?
because she's clumsy.
And single. I think for that particular... I think in that particular case, the single kind of takes precedence. Really, I tried to convince her, not wanting to confess my dancing problems. I've never had a boyfriend or anything close. I didn't go out much. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Why not? Jessica demanded. No one asked me, I answered honestly. She looked skeptical. People ask you out here, she reminded me, and you tell them no.
Yeah, because she's the new girl.
Yeah. We were in the junior section now, scanning the racks for dress-up clothes. Well, except for Tyler, Angela amended quietly. Excuse me, I gasped. What did you say? Tyler told everyone he's taking you to prom, Jessica informed me with suspicious eyes. Boy! What did I tell you about leading people on? If you're gonna give them a no, give them a no.
Especially teenage boys.
Don't give them a maybe next time, especially not idiots like Tyler. And it doesn't matter which Tyler we're talking about. Every Tyler is an idiot. Usually a lovable idiot. But an idiot. And I think I know a thing or two about lovable idiots, because I am one! Well, I'm an idiot. Mileage might vary on the lovable bit. Anyway. We all saw this shit coming.
Yeah.
Although, actually, hold on, before we continue. Now that I think about it, wasn't Tyler the one she kind of gave the most concrete no to?
I honestly have no idea.
Methinks that might have been the case.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It has been far too long for me to think.
And you know what I just realized after thinking about it for a few minutes?
We.
What?
I don't give a shit.
Neither do I.
Moving on. He said what? I sounded like I was choking. I told you it wasn't true, Angela murmured to Jessica. Or what I said about them all being lovable idiots. Maybe not so much lovable this time. Thanks, Stephanie. I was silent, still lost in shock that was quickly turning to irritation. But we had found the dress racks, and now we had work to do. That's why Lauren doesn't like you, Jessica giggled while we pawed through the clothes. I ground my teeth. Do you think that if I ran him over with my truck, he would stop feeling guilty about the accident? That he might give up on making amends and call it even? Asshole. Maybe, just
Wow.
if that's why he's doing this. I mean, I would have italicized that, but that's just me. I guess. I mean, poor italicization decisions are the least of this book's problems. Even if it is
No shit.
Even if it is one of the most recurring. The dress selection wasn't large, but both of them found a few things to try on. You're calling him fat? I sat on
Damn.
I sat on a low chair just inside the dressing room by the three-way mirror, trying to control my fuming. Just walk by, going to one of the dressing rooms, and there's just this girl sitting there in a chair, just.
And the thing is, I can imagine Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan doing that.
That version of Bella Swan would have actually made the movie tolerable? Nah. No. Not even that could save it. Not even a relatable, grumbly Bella Swan could have possibly saved that movie.
Or hell, not even the friggin' just sitting there with a grumble face.
Yeah, but Kristen Stewart can't do that! Yeah, not when she's acting. Or at the very least, she can't.
Yeah, true. At least not when she's acting. Maybe in real life she could do that, but at least not when she's acting.
I'm gonna give her a little more credit than that. Not when she's acting in a bad movie that's not worth even trying in.
Yeah, not when she's acting in a bad movie. If she's acting in a good movie, she could pull that off.
Yeah, she's apparently.
Because I've seen her act in good movies. When she's in a good movie, she can act like she can give a shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I think her and Robbie Pattinson both just kind of not so secretly hating their breakout roles.
Not so secretly, Robert Pattinson. Have you seen him in interviews about Twilight after Twilight's passed?
I said
he hasn't made a secret that.
That's why I said not so secretly. Jeez.
Well, I wasn't sure about Kristen Stewart's end, but
quasi-secretly. She will, if it's brought up, usually say something about how it was just kind of a pain in the ass to do, but like.
Yeah.
Not quite as over the top about it as Robert Pattinson probably, but Robbie P, let's be honest, he's a pretty animated dude when he's not being forced to play the part of whatever the fuck Edward Cullen's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Vampire Anakin Skywalker? Vampire Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty good, I think.
I hate sand. It's coarse and irritating. Gets everywhere. Kind of like my acting abilities.
I hate glitter!
Meh. Okay. The fuming. Jess was torn between two. One, a long, strapless, basic black number. Ooh, the classic LBD. Cannot go wrong with that. The other, a knee-length electric blue with spaghetti straps.
Too loud.
Tacky. I encouraged her to go with the blue.
Really?
Why not play up the eyes? Ain't the eyes people are going to be noticing at that point.
Black goes with everything, even blue. What the fuck are you talking about?
Besides, memory serves, she's got black hair.
Yeah,
You would
Jessica
have a
is
much
the one
better-
with black hair.
You'd have a much better memory than me in that case, then.
Angela chose a pale pink dress that draped around her tall frame nicely and brought out honey tints in her light brown.
pale pink dress. Well, at least it's not yellow. I can't yellow. I just can't. So that's the only good thing I can say about it is that at least it's not yellow. Wait, guys.
You're not fooling anyone.
What can I do to...
Okay. Okay. Okay, you all. What? Oh.
You know, I could make a dogma rep. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Mainly because I don't want to be the one to say that line.
Oh, come on, it's Dogma. Everybody loves Dogma. And if you don't love Dogma, you're wrong.
I mean, I like Dogma, but I don't want to be the one to make the joke and say that line. If you've seen Dogma, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Do it.
I'm just gonna type it in the text here.
Do it. No. Do it. Why do I keep coming back to the Star Wars prequels? That's a bad thing to do.
Because Do It is such an amazing reference.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, you know what? On second thought, let's not say that one. This is a family.
I'm sure you remember the scene. That line comes.
Yes, I do, and I think that's exactly why I'm going to not bring that up, because this is a family-friendly stream. Oh, I couldn't even get through saying that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the line that Silent Bob gives Jay when Jay says that when he wakes up.
Okay. I complimented them both generously and helped by returning the rejects to their racks. Why haven't I put that on the soundboard yet? The world's smallest violin.
I don't know.
Stop it. Oh well. Something to note for later. The whole process was much shorter and easier than similar trips I'd taken with Renee at home. I guess there was something to be said for limited choices. We headed over to shoes and accessories. Oh, more. This is almost as tedious as accompanying my mother to it on a shopping trip. Almost. But not
It's giving you the real shopping experience without any of the thrill of actually being able to see anything. So, actually worse. Somehow.
I wish you could see the look on my face right now. And hear the soundboard clip I happen to use in conjunction with it.
Right on cue. That's when I heard it.
Perfect. While they tried things on, I merely watched and critiqued, not in the mood to shop for myself, though I did need new shoes. The girls' night high was wearing off in the wake of my annoyance at Tyler, leaving room for the gloom to move back in. Oh, just kiss him already. I'm just kidding. This is not that book.
No.
Would have been better if it was. But it ain't. Angela, I began, hesitant while she was trying on a pair of pink strappy heels. Pink strappy.
Pink strappy.
Pink strappy.
I didn't realize that was a type of shoe. Or rather an adjective, I guess.
I thought we already did Mario's word of the week for this week. Now I needed to do another.
Pink strappy.
Boy. She was overjoyed to have a date tall enough that she could wear high heels at all. Oh, please.
Psh. Wear them anyway.
Admittedly, trying to dance with a date that's significantly shorter than you are, mildly difficult.
It's a power play.
Speaking as a woman, that just sounds awkward as hell.
Show them your boss by being significantly taller than them.
I don't think that's how being tall works. I say this.
No, that's how
speaking-
dating works.
I say that as a tall man.
Speaking as a short woman, that height difference just sounds awkward as hell.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't know. I don't dance, so.
I just want to put this in perspective. I am 6'3", or 6'2", somewhere in there. Yeah, no, yeah. If it's 6'3", I'm 6'2". I'm losing track of my own height. Help me!
Like, I know how tall I am.
Aren't you like 5'9" exactly?
Maybe? That sounds right, so I'm gonna say yes.
But yeah, I'm like 6'2"-ish. I was maybe 5'11" for prom at my shortest. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'd broken 6 feet by then, though. And my date, well, I say date, but the person whom I went to prom with was actually M. Those of you who've been around for the earlier shows where we were doing the Diablo Let's Play will remember M. This was, of course, long before she and Zach here started dating, because they didn't meet till college. This was high school. So, you know.
Time!
Timing!
Anyway, the thing about M is she is a very small person. SMOL. Small.
This is true.
Yeah, she's shorter than I am.
She is 4'10", 4'9".
But again, putting it to a number, I have no idea.
So yeah, slow dancing with somebody that size is not easy.
Yes, yeah, I wouldn't know about dancing with someone with a big height difference because, well, I've never been to a major dance.
You have missed nothing.
I figured as much because I was one of those people and associated myself with a group of friends who basically said "fuck prom."
I mean, I was part of the group of friends who said "fuck prom," but also let's show up just to, out of a combination of morbid curiosity and wanting to fuck everything up. And we succeeded.
My group of friends in high school basically had our own anti-prom party where we basically just hung out at a friend's house, played video games, and watched movies. That's it.
Yeah, we should have done that. That sounds more fun. But I'm sure the school would frown upon such things because they'd be afraid that we were up to debauchery.
My high school didn't give a shit.
My high school had an after prom. Like, you went to prom,
Oh
and then
my
you went
goodness.
back to the school for, like, what I can only describe as basically school fair attractions.
Yeah, see, my high school didn't do that after prom shit.
Yeah, the after prom was the worst part of the night.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I say this knowing full well and remembering very vividly that one of the songs on the DJ rotation for prom was Rebecca Black's Friday.
Ugh!
Excuse me. Oh, yes, hello, old people's running the prom. I do not think you understand how memes work. We do not actually like to hate the song because it's a bad song. If you think it sounds bad, don't worry, we actually agree with you on this one. Mind you, I actually agree with you on we played that night. There's no... Anything by Train is not good music. I don't care how old you are. Hey, so sister is not good music. Take the ukulele and shove it up your ass.
That does not sound like a pleasant time by anybody.
I actually kind of like the ukulele as well. But if ever there was a song that could ruin... If ever there was a song that could ruin it...
I'm just imagining my high school was the type of school because my high school's team mascot was the Timberwolf, and my high school was the type of school who thought it was a good idea to use Duran Duran's "Hungry Like the Wolf,"
I like that song.
Well, see, I didn't while I was in high school because my high school used "Hungry Like the Wolf" for their sports song to associate it with the mascot because hey, Timberwolf, hungry like the wolf. But even when I was in high school, I was like, these people know the song's about a stalker, right?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
So when I was in high school, I didn't like that song because of the school using it for like their sports stuff and like associating it with the mascot when it wasn't about an actual wolf, and it really bothered me. I mean, now it doesn't bother me, and I actually do like the song now. But back then, it really bothered me, and I didn't like the song that much. It's like my school did that with "Hungry Like the Wolf." I'm sure even they wouldn't have played Rebecca Black's "Friday" at prom.
Yeah, but they gotta be hip with them millennials. And, I'm gonna lie. The fact that your school was constantly playing Hungry Like the Wolf, I have zero sympathy. My school's mascot were the Spartans. Do you have any idea how many times I've had to watch clips from 300? I don't even like 300.
We'll see.
Mostly.
Put it that way.
We'll see. On that end, I really don't have any sympathy because, I mean, if I had to go through that, I wouldn't have cared because I actually like 300.
All I have to say is I'm glad my school didn't do something similar because we had the Rebels as our mascot.
I mean, could have been
See,
David Bowie's
now I'm
Rebel.
imagining. Please tell me I'm
No,
wrong.
it was.
Please tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, it
Please
was
tell me
that
I'm wrong.
guy.
Please tell me they didn't use Billy Idol's Rebel Yell as their song. Please tell me they did not do that. Please
Oh
tell
no,
me. Please,
we weren't half that creative. This is like the Revolutionary War Rebels.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, if your school was creative and did do that, I would be so sad.
That's a lot of Yankee Doodle. That is too much Yankee
That does sound familiar for some reason. Not like
Really?
we didn't play it
Yankee
incessantly,
Doodle
but
sounds familiar to you. I
As
never
a-
would have guessed!
as a school thing.
Oh my God, Slayer! He just said there's actually a death metal version of sounds like something from Whitechapel. I have no words.
I kind of want to hear that now. I'm going to look that up when I'm done here. Maybe. If I remember. Also, how dare
Good
you
luck.
call me a Frasaif? I am most certainly not a Middle Eastern place of worship. Yeah. So anyway, Twilight.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing we're doing.
Pink Strappy.
Pink Strappy.
Jessica had drifted to the jewelry counter and we were alone. Yes? She held her leg out, twisting her ankle to get a better view of the shoe.
Okay, I'm sorry. The fact that she went from Oh, okay, never mind. This is a different character we're talking about. I thought we were still talking about it. Because I thought of a scene from Child's Play. The first Child's Play film. Said you work in shoes, not in jewelry.
I don't get paid enough for this shit. I chickened out. I like those. I think I'll get them, though they'll never match anything but the one dress, she mused. Oh, go ahead, they're on sale, I encouraged. It feels like small talk between a pair of middle-aged women. And strangely, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, though. Damn it, Slayer.
She smiled, putting the lid back on a box that contained more practical-looking off-white shoes. Angela. She looked up curiously. Is it normal for the Cullens, I kept my eyes on the shoes, to be out of school a lot? I failed miserably in my attempt to sound nonchalant. You don't say, bringing up the weird family out of nowhere, and you couldn't sound nonchalant. I mean, nobody's a miracle worker, lady, but you are especially impressive in your mediocrity. Wow. Is it me, or have I gotten very good at insulting people? Especially when they're fictional.
Well, it's not like they can defend themselves.
Yeah, true. Yes, when the weather is good, they go backpacking all the time. Even the doctor. They're all real outdoorsy, she told me quietly, examining her shoes, too. She didn't ask one question, let alone the hundreds that Jessica would have unleashed. I was beginning to really like Angela. I like her, you're stupid. I'm sorry, what? Oh. I let the subject drop as Jessica returned to show us the rhinestone jewelry she'd found to match her silver shoes. Silver and rhinestone? Oh, please.
Like a
I
disco
know.
ball. Which is totally exactly the sort of thing you want to base your semi-formal dress upon.
By the way, silver shoes with electric blue dress.
This is the semi-formal get-up you're going with?
Like,
Semi-formal.
I want to stress, I'm not the most fashion-forward person in the world. My closet contains 20 identical black polos, for crying out loud. And a couple of black graphic tees. A lot of black, actually.
Yeah, me
Which is
too.
impressive.
None
Put it
all
that way.
black.
Which is impressive for somebody who's ostensibly not goth.
Yep.
Well, hey, you know what they say about black being slimming.
Well,
I can say that as a fellow fat person. Shut up.
And I am quite fat, yes.
I'm not. But it doesn't keep me from wearing black like all the time.
Well, I mean, it also goes with everything.
There's that.
That's
Including
another
more
reason.
black.
Which is not the same I could say of electric blue! Like, silver with the little black dress, silver shoes with the little black dress, still kind of questionable, but silver with, like, bright, virtually neon blue? No. Ugh. Something out
That
of an
noise you made. I'm sorry.
It's like something out of an 80s workout video.
No, it's reminding me. It's reminding me of like priestly garb for some reason, which is also not flattering. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've seen all. Wendy, you're
Huh?
Catholic. Remember all those priests wearing their spaghetti strap dresses?
I meant the blue and silver. Thank you very much.
Oh, I was winding up for a big no too.
No!
But then Zach ruined it.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause I was-
ruined it, but in the best
'cause I-
possible way.
It's like you're talking, because I was gonna ask, like, you're talking about those vestments of theirs, and then Zach jumped in.
You talking about those vestments?
No!
More soundboard abuse that you can't hear.
Yeah.
Gail's worry about what?
Apparently you're a mom now. Congratulations? Question mark.
Yay, that makes two of us. Sigma, get on that.
Oh, well, Sigma's mom worries. Yeah, she does. A lot. Mostly about what I'm doing when I'm shouting at my computer on Tuesday nights. Which, I mean, fair.
Yep.
We planned to go to dinner at a little Italian restaurant on the boardwalk, but the dress shopping hadn't taken as long as we'd expected. Jess and Angela were
God
going
damn it!
to take their clothes back to the car.
I'm sorry. I'm sure if you guys have any idea why I'm laughing, but because I'm not sure if we'll see. Sigma might have seen it. Zach, I don't think you have, but I'm laughing because of a remark in Realmore's latest commentary.
Oh, you mean real
that
M. Warsaw?
started an inside joke. God damn it, you're still. But
I'm never gonna let
but see-
Gohan live that down.
but seriously, Realm War's latest commentary on Metal Blade 5, his Metal Blade 5's countdown on like top, I think it was like top 5 most hated Pokemon. Because one of the Pokemon was Bruxish. And Metal Blade 5 made a remark about Bruxish's shiny form. And he said, like in text, and I'm not sure if this is the exact quote, but it's like close enough. Quote, "It looks like an Italian restaurant." And Realm Wars' remarks about that are class.
It looks like an Italian. Hold on.
Yeah, because what Metal Blade 5 was trying to say was like how it looks like Italian food, and and I remember like look at that, like at least that's what he elaborated in his response video. But I remember look at that, like trying to say, it's like, well, if that's what you wanted to say, then say that it looks like Italian food.
How does that look like Italian food? Let me just.
I don't remember all of his reasonings off the top of my head. I'll have to.
That looks like Italian food to you. What the fuck kind of tilapia have you been eating? Italian food?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. And besides, like, and on top of that, in his countdown, on top of the text that said it looked like an Italian restaurant, he, like, gagged and retched. It's like, wait, that's supposed to make it look disgusting? Even if it supposedly looked like Italian food, that just makes it sound more appetizing, not more gross.
Mmm, delicious chomp fish.
Yeah, cheap.
I love
this soundboard.
You just used the I love clip, didn't you?
I love.
Maybe.
See, I wish that friggin' software actually worked without draining your CPU. I wanted to be able to hear the soundboard without having to mute the. Oh, god damn it! You had this shiny proxy shot.
Well, I mean, I can't exactly not show the people.
Right. If we're talking about what it looks like.
But now that I'm actually looking at it, I can actually explain his reasoning. Supposedly, his reasoning for the fact that the red, white, and green coloring, at least I think it was the red, white, and green coloring, reminded him of the color combination of the Italian flag.
Who eats an Italian flag? I mean, besides Ronald Reagan.
And I think the yellow came in because of like cheese on spaghetti or other Italian food or something. I don't remember. I don't remember the entire reasoning. All I remember is the red, white, and green equals Italian flag. And I remember my reaction to seeing that being like, dude, how many vexillology nuts did you think would be watching your fucking video?
Apparently at least one.
Because I remember watching that thinking, like, and not just that, but I remember watching that thinking, it's like, dude, I visited Italy. Not even I thought of the Italian flag when I saw shiny Bruxish.
And again, how is the Italian flag Italian food?
Yeah, it's like, how do you jump from... Yeah, it's like, How do you jump from A to B to friggin' Mamma Mia?
I mean, I guess if you're
It's me, Mario.
I guess if you're like the Italian Ronald Reagan.
God damn it, Slayer.
And that joke's going to make a lot more sense when you actually see what I just put on the stream.
Wait, Slayer, who are you calling a bra?
Whoever said who eats Italian flags, which I think was Sigma. And Ronald Reagan, but like...
I mean, honestly, it would get me a lot closer to somebody's boobs than I've ever actually been. Single.
Long distance relationship. I should call M soon.
Yeah, you should. She is slowly going stir crazy from the lack of internet.
Yeah, that she is.
Anyway, Twilight. Do excuse me, I have been a bit phlegmy lately. It's been largely behaving for the stream, though, so that's nice. Anyway. I told them I would meet them at the restaurant in an hour. I wanted to look for a bookstore, because of course you did. They were both willing to come with me, but I encouraged them to go have fun. They didn't know how preoccupied I could get when surrounded by books. It was something I preferred to do alone. Oh, look at me, I'm such an intellectual, huh?
Especially with those noises.
I'm so fancy. Now I'm just kind of channeling Mr. Regular.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. This is my toy car. This is my real car. I was about to say we should get paid for advertising all these major YouTubers. Except let's be honest, nobody's going to them from us.
No.
Nope.
No, especially because we usually name people who people already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They walked off to the car, chattering happily, and I headed in the direction Jess pointed out. I had no trouble finding the bookstore, but it wasn't what I was looking for. Look, sir, droids. The windows were full of crystals, dream catchers, and books about sexual healing. I know it's in spiritual. I know it's in spiritual healing.
You mean?
I know it's in spiritual healing, but damn it, you know what that's usually code for. Like either that or yoga, I guess. But you know what that's usually code for?
Yoga?
That's a different kind of yoga, dude.
There's yoga porn out there. Almost certainly.
Dude, there's insert any adjective here, porn.
Yeah. That's kind of like what Rule 34 is all about.
Yes, I know.
Yep.
But I can only say probably because I've never seen it myself, nor do I particularly want to. Anyway, I didn't even go inside. Through the glass I could see a 50-year-old woman with long gray hair worn straight down her back, clad in a dress right out of the 60s, smiling welcomely from behind the counter. Yeah, she's on about 5 different weeds right now. I decided that was one conversation I could skip. There had to be a normal bookstore in town. I meandered through the streets, which were filling up with end-of-the-workday traffic, and hoped I was headed toward downtown. I wasn't paying as much attention as I should to where I was going. I was wrestling with despair. Despair with an RKO out of nowhere! Back out! I was trying so hard not to think about him. Kind of surprised that wasn't italicized, actually.
Yeah, I'm honestly having a hard time depicting which him she means here, because it's not italicized.
Yeah. Which him are you talking about? Edward? He's the one.
Yeah, because
He's the one you're always preoccupied with. Tyler? He's the one you were talking about most recently.
right.
Capital H, him from the Powerpuff Girls? Because that's his name. Her name. Their name. Everyone's quite sure
Him's
about that.
name.
Yeah, fair. And what Angela had said, and more than anything, trying to beat down my hopes for Saturday, fearing a disappointment and more. Fearing a disappointment more painful than the rest, when I looked up to see someone's silver Volvo parked along the street, and it all came crashing down on me. Stupid, unreliable vampire, I thought to myself.
Well, that answers our question.
It's like I'm driving nothing at all. I'm so glad we thought of that at the same time.
I love.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't have asked for that to go better.
No.
I stalked along in a southerly direction towards some glass-fronted shops that looked promising. But when I got to them, they were just a repair shop in a vacant space. Well, I mean, you're certainly no stranger to vacant spaces.
Uh,
I still had too much time to go looking for Jess and Angela yet, and I definitely needed to get my mood in hand before I met back up with them. I ran my fingers through my hair a couple of times and took some deep breaths before I continued around the corner. I started to realize, as I crossed another road, that I was going the wrong direction. The little foot traffic I had seen was going north, and it looked like the buildings here were mostly warehouses. I decided to turn east to the next corner, and then loop around after a few blocks and try my luck on a different street on my way back to the boardwalk. Whew. These sentences, I tell you, man, they're a slog.
Yeah.
A group of 4 men turned around the corner I was heading for, dressed too casually to be heading home from the office, but they were too grimy to be tourists. Oh, here we go. I'm sure this is going to be a Batman moment. We all remember the Batman moment from 50 Shades of Grey.
I mean, I wasn't there for most of the
I think you
of it, so
I think you were there for that bit, but I'm not sure. I'm not
I don't either.
entirely sure. What's Paladin? As they approached me, I realized they weren't too many years older than I was. They were joking loudly amongst themselves, laughing raucously and punching each other's arms. Ah, bruh! Yeah, bruh! Bruh.
that sounds about right.
I scooted as far to the inside of the sidewalk as I could to give them room, walking swiftly, looking past them to the corner. Hey there, bruh! One of them called as they passed, and he had to be talking to me since no one else was around. I glanced up automatically. 2 of them had paused, the other 2 were slowing. Closest, a heavy-set, dark-haired man in his early 20s, seemed to be the one who had spoken. He was wearing a flannel shirt open over a dirty t-shirt, cut-off jeans, and sandals. He took a half-step toward me. Hello.
I know it doesn't mean this, but
Daisy Dukes.
Daisy Dukes.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that. Yeah. Anyway, Wendy, you're gonna like this next bit. Hello, I mumbled. A knee-jerk reaction. Actual James May, Isabella Swan. Then I quickly looked away and walked faster toward the corner. I could hear them laughing at full volume behind me. Hey, wait, bruh! One of them called after me again, but I kept my head down and rounded the corner with a sigh of relief. I could still hear them chortling behind me.
Chortling.
Okay, that was pointless.
That really was.
yeah.
Like, I get it. That happens. Okay. Why do you need to record it for posterity?
Damn it, Slayer.
What did Slayer do?
Innuendo number 2, a knee-jerk reaction.
I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't that. You think one of these days I'd learn.
You'd think.
But that would require learning.
I would.
Anyway. I found myself on a sidewalk leading past the backs of several somber-colored warehouses, each with large bay doors for unloading trucks padlocked for the night. The south side of the street had no sidewalk, only a chain-link fence topped with barbed wire protecting some kind of engine parts storage yard. Woo! It's like Disney World! Well, for me, anyway. I'd wandered far past that part of Port Angeles that I, as a guest, was intended to see. Actual Disney World. It was getting dark, I realized, the clouds finally returning, piling up on the western horizon, creating an early sunset. Stephanie, short sentences are your friend. Use them sometimes. Otherwise you make people tired. The eastern sky was still clear, but graying, shot through with streaks of pink and orange. Like my birth mother's hair? Nah, I'm kidding, she's straight purple at the moment. Not kidding. Like, my birth mother is the kind of woman who, even at age 44, is still full-on punk. It's sort of glorious.
Lovely.
I left my jacket in the car, and a sudden shiver made me cross my arms tightly across my chest. A single van passed me, and then the road was empty. The sky suddenly darkened further, and as I looked over my shoulder to glare at the offending cloud, I realized with a shock that 2 men were walking quietly 20 feet behind me. Oh no! Pedestrians! Okay, in fairness, this is actually somewhat ominous. They were from the same group that I'd passed at the corner, though neither was the dark one who'd spoken to me. I turned my head forward at once, quickening my pace. A chill that had nothing to do with the weather made me shiver again. My purse was on a shoulder strap, and I had it slung across my body, the way you're supposed to wear it so it wouldn't get snatched. White women and their purses.
Well, I mean...
I knew exactly where my paper spray was. Still in a duffel bag under the bed, never unpacked.
Good on ya.
I didn't have much money with me, just a 20 and some ones. I thought about accidentally dropping my bag and walking away, but a small, frightened voice in the back of my head warned me that they might be something worse than thieves. I mean, yeah, you can say rapists. I guess.
But no.
Mind you, I suppose that has about the same effect as saying Islamic terrorists.
Yeah.
Namely, none.
But you gotta sell it to the teenage ladies.
And their mothers.
And their mothers. So, you know.
Yeah, that's...
Can't mention it. You can just imply it heavily. Very heavily. But, you know, can't say it.
Subtlety. Of the sort that requires a clip of Ghost Love Score. I listened intently to their quiet footsteps, which were much too quiet when compared to the boisterous noise they'd been making earlier, and it didn't sound like they were speeding up or getting any closer to me. Oh no! Pedestrians! Breathe, I had to remind myself. You don't know they're following you. I continued to walk as quickly as I could without actually running, focusing on the right-hand turn that was only a few yards away from me now. I could hear them staying as far back as they'd been before. All I can think of now is Martin Freeman just shouting, "I'm not a stalker!" Or, as is probably also rather appropriate for a case involving a 16-year-old girl, "I'm not a pedophile!" We assholes.
Just a bit.
Hey, those over. Yeah, what are those skits called? Those skits called overanalyzing or whatever.
Overanalyzing.
Something like that.
A blue car jumped out onto the street I appear to have mixed my lines of text together. Oops. A blue car turned onto the street from the south and drove quickly past me. I thought of jumping out in front of it. Yes, please! Please! But I hesitated, inhibited, unsure that I was really being pursued, and then it was too late. I reached the corner, but a swift glance revealed that it was only a blind drive to the back of another building. I was half turned in anticipation. I had to hurriedly correct and dash across the narrow drive back to the sidewalk. You're trying to make... I get you're trying to make this intense. It's not intense. It's pedestrians.
I mean, they're definitely following her.
I mean, up to this point, it's kind of hard to tell because they haven't tried to catch up to her at all or anything.
They're still on the street.
Yeah, it's just making Bella look excessively paranoid.
He's just standing there, menacingly. Anyway. Right, well, I guess that one fell flat on its face. Haven't y'all watched SpongeBob?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
The Hall Monitor episode?
But, like, I also see so much of it, I'm just kind of desensitized now.
I don't think I ever saw the Hall Monitor episode.
How did you not?
How did you not? Patrick with an ice cream
If
cone on
I
his head?
did, I don't remember it.
You know what? Twilight.
Twilight.
Square jaw tight pants.
Now that's something else. I was going to say entirely, but it's kind of related, so... If only that guy spoke with a squeaky voice, then it would be.
I had to hurriedly correct and dash across the narrow drive back to the sidewalk. The street ended at the next corner, where there was a stop sign. I concentrated on the faint footsteps behind me, deciding whether or not to run. They sounded farther back, though, and I knew they could outrun me in any case. I was sure to trip and go sprawling if I tried to go any faster.
She's clumsy!
The footfalls were definitely farther back. They're literally just walking in the same general direction as you.
After having turned around to do so.
I mean, it was probably a case of, hey Ron, we actually gotta head back toward the, we actually gotta head back west toward the pier. We'll see you later. Yeah, okay, bro.
I love your optimism.
I mean, that's probably not the case, but up to this point, Stephanie Meyer is doing a rather horrible job of setting it up as anything but. I risked a quick glance over my shoulder, and they were maybe 40 feet back now. I saw with relief. But they were both staring at me. Well, you're kind of acting ridiculous. It seemed to take forever for me to get to the corner. I kept my pace steady, the men behind me falling ever so slightly further behind with every step. Maybe they realized they had scared me and were sorry.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Her optimism trumps yours. I'm sorry. Oh no, we were planning to do terrible things, but now that we've scared her, now we have to back off.
No!
At least I recognize that's not the case. It just looks like the case because the person writing this story is terrible at what she does.
Yes. Oh boy.
Okay. I'm okay. I saw two cars going north past the intersection I was heading for, and I exhaled in relief. There would be more people around once I got off this deserted street. I skidded around the corner with a grateful sigh, and skidded to a stop. The street was lined on both sides by blank, doorless, windowless walls. I could see in the distance two intersections down street lamps, cars, and more pedestrians, but they were all too far away. Because lounging against the western building, midway down the street, were the other two men from the group, both watching with excited smiles as I froze dead on the sidewalk. I realized then that I wasn't being followed. I was being herded. Okay, go the other way. You know how you're at an intersection? Go the other way. I just... I paused for only a second, but it felt like a very long time. I turned then and darted to the other side of the road. I had a sinking feeling that it was a wasted attempt. The footsteps behind me were louder now. There you are, bruh! The booming voice of the stocky-haired man shattered the stocky, dark-haired man. Stocky-haired. I don't think that's how hair works, Sigma. The stocky,
I'm not fat, I'm just big-haired.
The intense quiet made me jump. In the gathering darkness, it seemed like he was looking past me. Yeah! A voice called loudly from behind me, making me jump again as I tried to hurry down the street. We just took a little detour. Bruh. My steps had to slow now. I was closing the distance between myself and the lounging pair too quickly. I had a good loud scream, and I sucked in air preparing to use it, but my throat was so dry I wasn't sure how much volume I could manage. With a quick movement, I slipped my purse over my head, gripping the strap with one hand, ready to surrender it or use it as a weapon as the need demanded. I'm sorry, but when you say I slipped my purse over my head, I don't picture you putting the strap over your head. I picture you just opening it up and... Purse hat! Nothing can harm me now!
That's a defense mechanism.
And before Nordstrom starts selling that.
Oh, God. Were they the ones who did the IKEA bag knockoff?
I don't think so. They're the ones who did the pre-muddied jeans.
Oh. Well.
And the designer rock in a pouch. And the Gucci designer socks with sandals. I'm not kidding about any of those.
See, pre-muddied jeans, sure, I can see that easily.
I can't.
The socks, though. Why?
Yeah, socks, sandals.
Like, it's literally... I don't even know how to describe it. It's just... like, sandals with socks already in them, I think, is the best way to...
Okay, sure, but still, why?
Just... Oh no, it's worse than that. It's not just a sandal with a sock already in it. It's a high-heeled sandal with a sock already in it.
Why would you do that?
Look at this stupid shit.
I want to. I want to see this now. This needs to be in my life.
No, it doesn't!
No, it does.
At least of which, because I really don't think you have the legs to pull it off.
Challenge accepted.
Right, well, file that under things I never needed to see in my mind.
Those are very shiny socks, I gotta say.
I think they're like supposed to be some sort of like nylon leather or whatever thing.
I take it back. This no longer needs to be a thing in my life. See, I thought you meant more like cottony kind of socks, you know?
Yeah, but in high-heeled sandals.
Listen, as soon as you said high-heeled sandals, any kind of sock was going to look silly.
Fair. That's incredibly fair, yes.
Jesus.
Remember how we said we weren't the most fashion-forward people?
At least we can agree on this.
We still
Yeah.
mean that. And right now that's sounding like a very good thing indeed.
Yeah.
Ta-da, purse on head. Bird's hat. The thick-set man shrugged away from the wall as I warily came to a stop and walked slowly into the street. "Stay away from me," I warned in a voice that was supposed to sound strong and fearless, but I was right about the dry throat. No volume. "Don't be like that, bruh," he called, and the raucous laughter started again behind me. I braced myself, feet apart, trying to remember through my panic what little self-defense I knew. I'll give you a hint. That's my purse. I don't know you." Dang it, Bobby. Heel of the hand thrust upward, hopefully breaking the nose or shoving it into the brain. I think you mean palm. Thrust upward. Hands don't have heels. Hands aren't feet.
Well, I've heard heel of your hand before.
Yeah, in this book!
I don't think... No, I mean outside this book.
Well, then you didn't bring it up the last time it came up.
I don't remember the last time it came up, but then again, I don't remember a lot of what actually is said in this book, besides the typos, so...
Probably for the best. Finger through the eye socket, try to hook around and pop the eye out. And the standard knee to the groin, of course. "That's my purse! I don't know you!" I told you. I told you. That same pessimistic voice in my mind spoke up then, reminding me that I probably wouldn't have a chance against one of them, and there were 4. "Shut up," I commanded the voice before terror could incapacitate me. You can really see the influence this had on E.L. James.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the author that gave E.L. James her inspiration.
I tried to swallow. I wasn't going out without taking someone with me. I tried to swallow so I could build up a decent scream. Well, I can safely say I sort of feel like doing the same thing right about now. Headlights suddenly flew around the corner, the car almost hitting the stocky one, forcing him to jump back toward the sidewalk. "Batman!" I dove into the road. This car was going to stop or have to hit me. But the silver car unexpectedly fishtailed around, skidding to a stop with the passenger door open just a few feet from me. "Get in!" a furious voice commanded.
Oh, you just made him literally Batman.
How could I not?
It's a good question.
It was amazing how instantaneously the choking fear vanished, amazing how suddenly the feeling of security washed over me, even before I was off the street, as soon as I heard his voice. By the way, you'll note, remember what I was saying in the last many, many chapters about how generic and bland a silver Volvo tends to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
To point out, at no point before he said anything did she realize it was Edward Cullen in the goddamn Volvo. Just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm Super Saiyan. I jumped into the seat, slamming the door. The door?
The door.
The door. The door is a door!
It's your jean door.
Can we not?
Too late.
Janet. Slamming the door shut behind me. It was dark in the car. No light had come on with the opening of the door, and I could barely see his face in the glow from the dashboard. That isn't a positive. Why are you sectioning it off from the rest of the sentence? That isn't a positive phrase. You do not just put that in the middle of a sentence, fragmenting the other 2 sides of the sentence, and splicing it all together with commas. That is a hyphen moment right there. Or parentheses, I guess. That works too. I'm just saying. It's a minor thing, but it's a thing. The tires squealed as he spun around to face north. In his front-wheel drive Volvo. How?
Like she knows cars.
Quickly, swerving toward the stunned men on the street. In his front-wheel drive Volvo. How?
This is Stephanie Meyer we're talking about. She don't know shit about cars.
You'll way this would work is if it was like a Volvo from the 90s or earlier. Which it objectively is not.
Again, this is Stephanie Meyer we're talking about. She don't know shit about cars.
And yet she keeps trying to act like she does.
Let's go into notes.
What do you mean this is going in the notes?
Apparently marble vampires can just manipulate cars at will.
I mean, like,
How are marble pirates technomancers? At least that's what I'm calling them, because I can't think of a better term.
I mean, like,
magic.
I'll give him. I know everyone hates when I do that, but you set me up for it perfectly.
That's true, though.
Okay, I can kind of buy him having uncannily good car control because he's literally older than cars.
True.
This is also true.
But, like, just do your motherfucking research, god damn it. No U.S. domestic market Volvo available at the time this book was published would have had any ability to do any of the things it's currently doing. Or at the very least, not well. Like, the closest you could get would be, like, one of the more sports-oriented models, like one of the Polestars from... One of the Polestars. But the Polestar model vehicles were, like... I think they were kind of starting to see release in the European market around this time. Around the time this was written, but they certainly weren't here. Like, even now, it's rare to even see one on the road, and we literally, like, just got them, like, a few years ago. And those are still not rear-wheel drive, they're all-wheel drive. And nobody cares about any of this.
I mean, I enjoy listening to you talk about it.
The perks of being a car nerd. I guess I'll just move on then.
Yeah.
Before I make an even bigger nerd of myself. Turn up. Put on your seatbelt, he commanded, and I realized I was clutching the seat with both hands. I quickly obeyed. The snap as the belt connected was loud in the darkness. He took a sharp left, racing forward, blowing through several stop signs without a pause. Now that actually sounds about right for a Volvo, because that is understeer. Turn left, still going forward. But I felt utterly safe and, for the moment, totally unconcerned about where we were going. I stared at his face in profound relief that went beyond my sudden deliverance. Like, that's the wrong deliverance, but it's kind of also the right deliverance, in a way.
Guess so.
Weird. I studied his flawless features in the limited light, waiting for my breath to return to normal until it occurred to me that his expression was murderously angry. Because he's Batman. Are you okay? I asked, surprised at how hoarse my voice sounded. Yeah, you're not Batman. No, he said curtly, and his tone was livid. I sat in silence, watching his face while his blazing eyes stared straight ahead, until the car came to a sudden stop. I glanced around, but it was too dark to see anything beside the vague outline of dark trees crowding the roadside. We weren't in town anymore. Were you somewhere over the rainbow?
Way up high?
There's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. And, you know, I'd love to just completely sing that. I'd love to sing just the entirety of that song right here and now.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, that would be so much more interesting than this. I don't even particularly like singing. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway. Alright. Bella! Bella! No, still not quite right. Hold on. I got this. Thank you, Ginger Ale. Bella! He asked, his voice tight, controlled. Yes, my voice was still rough. I tried to clear my throat quietly. I'm not doing double Batman, just FYI. Are you alright? He still didn't look at me, but the fury was plain on his face. Yes, I croaked softly. Distract me, please. He ordered.
He ordered with a please.
I mean, at least it's a polite order, but, I mean, it sounds like she's gone from being sexually assaulted to being coerced into giving her rescue driver a hand job, which is technically still sexual assault.
Oh, yeah.
Can't they just go across the border and get an icy hand job from a Vancouver hooker?
Edmonton. No, wait. Edmonton.
I know, but we're on the other side of the country. I gotta
Damn it, you're right.
think about it.
Well, at least I didn't have to cross Lake Erie.
See, there you go.
Still paying off the extra premiums from the water damage. Nobody gets that reference because those videos never went up. But
I'm gonna have to agree to that.
And it was a grand old time indeed. I'm sorry, what? He exhaled sharply. Just prattle about something unimportant until I calm down. He clarified, closing his eyes and pinching the bridge of his nose with his thumb and forefinger. Oh. Well, I guess he's not asking for a hand job.
Guess not.
I'm just saying, though, who picks up a girl on the side of the street just to talk to her?
Well, when you know the girl.
Well, I mean, I would argue that usually the point of picking up a girl on the side of the road is to know her.
That's fair.
Oh, them Edmonton hookers. Or Vancouver, if that's your thing.
Oh, boy.
I racked my brain for something trivial. I'm going to run over and Tyler Crowley tomorrow before school. He was still squeezing his eyes closed, but the corner of his mouth twitched. Why? He's telling everyone that he's taking me to prom. Either he's insane, or he's still trying to make up for almost killing me last, well, you remember it. And he thinks Sprom! And he think Sprom! Oh, these typos are the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, man.
And he thinks Sprom is somehow the correct way to do this. So I figured if I endanger his life, then we're even, and he can't keep trying to make amends. I don't need enemies, and maybe Lauren would back off if he left me alone. I might have to total his Sentra, though. If he doesn't have a ride, he can't take anyone to prom. I babbled on. I heard about that. He sounded a bit more composed. You'll note I've dropped the Batman thing now because, well, he sounded a bit more composed. You did? I asked in disbelief, my previous irritation flaring. If he's paralyzed from the neck down, he can't go to the prom. He's paralyzed from the neck down, he can't go to the prom either, I muttered, refining my plan. Edward sighed and finally opened his eyes. Better? Not really. I waited, but he didn't speak again. He leaned his head back against the seat, staring at the ceiling of the car. His face was rigid. Stone-faced Batman. I know that's usually Tyler's joke, but this particular Tyler is not very stone-faced, so it doesn't work.
That's true.
What's wrong? My voice came out in a whisper. Sometimes I have a problem with my temper, Bella. He was whispering, too, and as he stared out the window, his eyes narrowed into slits. But it wouldn't be helpful for me to turn around and hunt down those He didn't finish his sentence, looking away, struggling for a moment to control his anger again. At least that's what I'm trying to convince myself. Like, on the one hand, this is a big red flag that he might be a bit on the abusive side of things. On the other hand, I actually kind of get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Oh. The word seemed inadequate, but I couldn't think of a better response. Thanks. That was necessary. We sat in silence again. I glanced at the clock on the dashboard. It was past 6:30. Jessica and Angela will be worried, I murmured. I was supposed to meet them. He started the engine without another word, turning around smoothly and speeding back toward town. We were under the streetlights in no time at all, still going too fast, weaving with ease through the cars slowly cruising the boardwalk. Wow. Actual asshole driver.
Yeah.
Edward
Okay.
Cullen. Like, dude, you drive a Volvo. What the hell are you doing driving like a... What are you doing driving like a Mercedes driver, huh? Or an Audi driver. Appropriate considering what E.L. James turned your characterization into.
Very true.
He parallel parked against the curb in a space I would have thought much too small for the Volvo. But he slid in effortlessly in one try. Looked out the window to see the lights of La Bella Italia, and Jess and Angela just leaving, pacing anxiously away from us. How did you know where... I began, but then I just shook my head. I heard the door open and turned to see him getting out. What are you doing? I'm taking you to dinner. He smiled slightly, but his eyes were hard. He stepped out of the car and slammed the door. I fumbled with my seatbelt and then hurried to get out of the car as well. He was waiting for me on the sidewalk. I'm starting to feel the phlegm a little bit, actually. Excuse me. This whole thing's being rather unusually hard on my voice. I think I blame the false start. He spoke before I could. Go stop Jessica and Angela before I have to track them down, too. I don't think I could restrain myself if I ran into your other friends again. I shivered at the threat in his voice. Jess! Angela! I yelled after them, waving when they turned. They rushed back to me, the pronounced relief on both their faces simultaneously changing to surprise as they saw who I was standing next to. They hesitated a few feet from us. Where have you been? Jessica's voice was suspicious. Oh, they've been fucking.
I was just thinking that.
Oh, I think we were all thinking that.
Yeah.
I got lost, I admitted sheepishly. In his pants. And then I ran into Edward. In his pants. I gestured toward him. Would it be alright if I joined you? He asked in his silken, irresistible voice. I could see from their staggered expressions that he had never unleashed his talents on them before. Sure, Jessica breathed. Actually, Bella, we already ate while we were waiting. Sorry, Angela confessed. Assholes.
Yeah.
That's fine, I'm not hungry, I shrugged. You've been too easy eating his dick.
God damn it.
I'm just saying. We all know that objectively did not just happen. But if you're trying not to give those, if you're not trying to get not,
You'll get it this time.
Yes, I will. If you're trying not to give those two the wrong idea, you're doing a very bad job of it. I think you should eat something. Edward's voice was low but full of authority. He looked up at Jessica and spoke slightly louder. Do you mind if I drive Bella home tonight? That way you won't have to wait while she eats. Excuse me. No problem, I guess. She bit her lip, trying to figure out from my expression whether that was what I wanted. I winked at her. Still not doing a good job of not getting the sexy times impression across.
Yeah, no kidding.
I wanted nothing more than to be alone with my perpetual savior. There were so many questions that I couldn't bombard him with till we were by ourselves. Yes, because clearly an Italian restaurant is just the height of privacy.
Obviously.
Yeah. Also, This would be the perfect... Also, I'll be really disappointed if he doesn't just rankle the moment the garlic bread gets brought out.
Oh, I hope so.
Something tells me that part got cut. Something tells me that got cut out of the Marble Vampire mythos as well. Just in case, have your notes ready.
Yep.
Lovely. Good old Dr. Tin Can. Can always be counted on. Can always be counted on to do doctory things.
Yes.
Okay. Angelica was quicker than Jessica. Angelica? Angela. Rugrats. See you tomorrow, Bella. Edward. She grabbed Jessica's hand and pulled her toward the car, which I could see a little ways away, parked across First Street. Because... Oh yeah, now you're name-dropping the road names.
Yeah.
Clearly you had such a good grasp on where you were before. As they got in, Jess turned and waved, her face eager with curiosity. I waved back, waiting for them to drive away before I turned to face him. Honestly, I'm not hungry, I insisted, looking up to scrutinize his face. His expression was unreadable. Humor me. He walked to the door of the restaurant and held it open with an obstinate expression. Grumble face. Obviously, there would be no further discussion. I walked past him into the restaurant with a resigned sigh. Lady, he is treating you to fine Italian food. Well, presumably fine Italian food. I'm gonna defer to the locals on this one.
Yeah, I would have no idea either.
My point is, do not look a gift cannoli in the mouth. The cream filling.
Well put.
The things maybe I shouldn't have brought up cannolis when I was earlier joking about blowjobs.
God.
Oh, that's some hindsight. The restaurant was crowded. It was the off-season in Port Angeles. The host was female, and I understood the look in her eyes as she assessed Edward. Oh, she wants him. She welcomed him a little more warmly than necessary. I was surprised by how much that bothered me. She was several inches taller than I was, and unnaturally blonde. So, does that mean she was just, like, really, really goddamn blonde, or does that mean it was an obvious dye job? More importantly, why does that matter enough to actually include in the narrative?
Because...
A table for two? His voice was alluring, whether he was aiming for that or not. I saw her eyes flicker to me and then away, satisfied by my obvious ordinariness and by the cautious, no-contact space Edward kept between us. She led us to a table big enough for four in the center of the most crowded area of the dining floor. Well, good to know this waitress can count.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to sit, but Edward shook his head more private. Shook his head at me. I skipped again. Shook his head more private. That makes almost sense. Not that I wanted to. Perhaps something more private, he insisted quietly to the host. I wasn't sure, but it looked like he smoothly handed her a tip. Seriously, you've got the vampire hypnotism, and you're getting her to do something by tipping her. Okay, great upwards too. You're not a complete asshole.
Yeah.
You all thought I was going in a different direction with that, didn't you?
Yep.
I'd never seen anyone refuse a table except in old movies. I mean, really? Shit, how many doormats have you lived with?
I mean, I've never refused a table either, but, like...
I have.
I haven't had a need to.
I mean, the one time I did, it's because there were glass shards in the booth.
I would totally refuse a table then.
Yeah.
I think you were justified there.
Sure. She sounded as surprised as I was. She turned and led us around a partition to a small ring of booths, all of them empty. How's this? Perfect. He flashed his gleaming smile, dazing her momentarily. What are you, Tom Cruise? If nobody gets it, look up Jonathan Colton. And enjoy.
I did think of that song immediately. I'm not gonna lie.
She shook her head, blinking. Your server will be right out. She walked away unsteadily. Yeah, you really shouldn't do that to people, I criticized. It's hardly fair. Do what? Dazzle them like that. She's probably hyperventilating in the kitchen right now. He seemed confused. Did I put my high beams on? Oh, come on, I said dubiously. You have to know the effect you have on people. He tilted his head to one side, and his eyes were curious. I dazzle people? How old are you? You haven't noticed? Do you think everybody gets their way so easily? He ignored my questions. Do I dazzle you? Frequently, I admitted. At least she's being honest.
Yeah, there's that.
And then our server arrived, her face expectant. The hostess had definitely dished behind the scenes, and this new girl didn't look disappointed. She flicked a strand of short black hair behind one ear and smiled with unnecessary warmth. Hello, my name is Amber, and I'll be your server tonight. What can I get you to drink? Never make me do that again. I didn't miss that she was speaking only to him. He looked at me. I'll have a Coke? It sounded like a question. 2 Cokes, he said. I'll be right back with that. Oh, did I just say to myself? She assured him with another unnecessary smile. But he didn't see it. He was watching me. What? I asked when she left. His eyes stayed fixed on my face. How are you feeling? I'm fine, I replied, surprised by his intensity. You don't feel dizzy, sick, cold? Should I? He chuckled at my puzzled tone. Well, I'm actually waiting for you to go into shock. His face had twisted up into that perfect crooked smile. I don't think that'll happen, I said after I could breathe again. I've always been very good at repressing unpleasant feelings. Or unpleasant things. Or
That too.
both. Yes, good. Well, she's doing a damn sight better at it than I am. Just the same, I'll feel better when you have some sort of when you have some sugar and food in you. I mean, sure, go ahead. Yes. Just go ahead and fatten her up. We all know where this is going. That's some good lifeblood. Right on cue, the waitress appeared with our drinks and a basket of breadsticks. Oh, fingers crossed. Oh, fingers crossed. She stood with her back to me as she placed them on the table. Are you ready to order? She asked Edward. Bella? He asked. She turned unwillingly toward me. I picked the first thing I saw on the menu. I'll have the mushroom ravioli. And you? She turned back to him with a smile. Nothing for me, he said. Of course not. Let me know if you change your mind. The coy smile was still in place, but he wasn't looking at her, and she left dissatisfied. Drink, he ordered. Just... Okay, Thor. Didn't realize I was I didn't realize I was in the company of a fucking Viking. I thought that was a distinctly different vampire trashy romance novel.
Oh god.
Galloping abs.
Galloping abs.
It just keeps coming up.
It does.
I sipped at my soda obediently, and then drank more deeply, surprised how thirsty I was. I realized I had finished the whole thing when he pushed his glass toward me. Thanks, I muttered, still thirsty. The cold from the icy soda was radiating through my chest, and I shivered. Are you cold? It's just the Coke, I explained, shivering again. Don't you have a jacket? His voice was disapproving. Yes. I looked at the empty bench next to me. Oh, I left it in Jessica's car, I realized. Edward was shrugging out of his jacket. I suddenly realized I had never once noticed what he was wearing. Not just tonight, but ever. I just couldn't seem to look away from his face. I made myself look now, focusing. He was removing a light beige leather jacket now. Oh, you motherfucker. And underneath he was wearing an ivory turtleneck sweater. What are you, a history professor?
Well, he did live it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Okay, I'm back.
Hi there. We've just made the startling revelation that Edward is a history professor.
Light beige leather jacket with an ivory turtleneck. All he's missing is the gray beard, and that's mostly because he's frozen at an age where he is ill-equipped to grow one.
Yeah.
And square glasses.
Which, yeah, I mean, you can only do so much about that.
That's true.
It fit him snugly, emphasizing how muscular his chest was. I hope you don't mind if I order off the menu.
Damn it.
He handed me the jacket, interrupting my ogling. Thanks, I said again, sliding my arms into his jacket. It was cold, the way my jacket felt when I first picked it up in the morning, hanging in the drafty hallway. I shivered again. It smelled amazing. How can I not?
Oh, I thought you.
How can I not make that sound creepy?
No, because it hadn't quite gotten to the point where that sentence was showing, so I just thought you inserted it yourself. No, that's actually in there.
It's in there! I inhaled, trying to identify the delicious scent. It didn't smell like cologne. The sleeves were much too long. I shoved them back so I could free my hands. The color blue looks lovely with your skin, he said, watching me. I'd love to wear it. You guys are just making this way too easy for me.
Yeah, that's true, though.
I was surprised. I looked down, flushing, of course. He pushed the breadbasket toward me. Really, I'm not going into shock, I protested. No, it's just that they're garlic breadsticks, and I...
I was thinking that.
Yeah, seeing as there's actually no real evidence thereof.
I know.
I'm guessing this means we'll have to... Huh. Damn. She really did not get anything right.
No.
What a surprise. Really, I'm not going into shock, I protested. You should be. A normal person would be. You don't even look shaken. He seemed unsettled. He stared into my eyes, and I saw how light his eyes were. Lighter than I'd ever seen them. Golden butterscotch. Do you find... So help me, if you find one more goddamn cinnamon... Cinnamon? One more goddamn synonym for yellow, I'm gonna have a goddamn hissy fit.
Also, I have to say, isn't butterscotch already kind of golden?
Now all I can think about is butterscotch cinnamon pie.
Of course.
Just the thought of it fills me with determination.
God damn it, now I'm thinking of Undertale.
Of course.
That's the joke.
Yes. Ooh.
And that has nothing to do with butterscotch.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I guess I'm not far enough in the Let's Play I've been watching.
It's at the very beginning!
It's been a while since I've seen it, and I guess if I remember right, I've been multitasking while I was watching, so I haven't been paying that much attention.
That would certainly lead to it.
Better attention, damn it. Also, which LP are you watching?
I can't even remember who was even making it. It's been a long time. I really need to get back to it.
Yes.
Yes, you do. You are very, very far behind the 8 ball at this point.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm not even sure I could properly call it a Let's Play, just a walkthrough.
I feel very safe with you, I confessed, mesmerized into telling the truth again. That displeased him, his alabaster brow furrowed. All these colors, but all I can see is PURPLE! He shook his head, frowning. This is more complicated than I'd planned, he murmured to himself. Dude, an internal monologue. I picked up a red stick and began nibbling on the end, measuring his expression. I wondered when it would be okay to start questioning him. Usually you're in a better mood when your eyes are so light, I commented, trying to distract him from whatever thought had left him frowning and somber. You can tell I care so much about this. He stared at me, stunned. What? You're always crabbier when your eyes are black. I expected then, I went on. I have a theory about that. His eyes narrowed. More theories? Mm-hmm. I chewed on a small bite of the bread, trying to look indifferent. Num 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 num.
Nom nom.
I mean, I'm usually much more in the nom nom category myself when it comes to breadsticks, but that's just me. And
See you, Slayer.
Night Slayer. Happy trails, my friend.
See you, Slayer.
I hope you were more creative this time, or are you still stealing from comic books? Hulk, resent that! His faint smile was mocking. His eyes were still tight. Tight?
Tight.
Turn around, tight eyes. Well, no, I didn't get it from a comic book, but I didn't come up with it on my own either, I confessed. And? He prompted. But then the waitress strode around the partition with my food. I realized we'd been unconsciously leaning toward each other across the table because we both straightened up as she approached. Uh-huh? Huh? All the chemistry of a goddamn... I don't know. What's something that doesn't have a lot of chemistry in it? I feel like baking soda volcano would be pushing it.
Perhaps.
Okay. She set the dish in front of me. It looked pretty good. And turned quickly to Edward. Did you change your mind? She asked. Isn't there anything I can get you? I may have been imagining the double meaning in her words. I've got a couple of nice warm buns. No thank you, but some more soda would be nice. He gestured with a long white hand to the empty cups in front of me. Sure. She removed the empty glasses and walked away. You were saying? He asked. I'll tell you about it in the car. If there are conditions, he asked. He raised one eyebrow, his voice ominous. Doom voice. I do have a few questions, of course. Of course. The waitress was back with 2 more Cokes. She set them down without a word this time and left again. I took a sip. You give me a hamburger.
God, no. Don't do this to me.
Oh, don't worry. That's about the most I've ever been able to memorize.
That's fair, though.
I mean, shit gets surreal pretty damn fast.
Well, it's about surrealism, so...
Well, yes. Well, go ahead. He pushed, his voice still hard. I started with the most undemanding, or so I thought. Why are you in Port Angeles? He looked down, folding his large hands together slowly on the table. Yowie hands. His eyes flickered up at me from under his lashes, the hint of a smirk on his face. Next. But that's the easiest one, I objected. Next, he repeated. Next.
Next.
Next. I looked down, frustrated. I unrolled my silverware, picked up my fork, and carefully speared a ravioli. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the answers, Oli.
Almost works. Nearly perfect.
I mean, the original wasn't exactly great either.
Fair enough.
I put it in my mouth slowly, still looking down, chewing while I thought. The mushrooms were good. Phallic symbol. I swallowed. And took another sip of Coke before I looked up.
Phrasing.
Kind of wish Slayer was still here with his innuendo counter.
People always leave at the most inopportune times.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. I glared at him and continued slowly. Let's say, hypothetically, of course, that someone could know what people are thinking. Read minds, with a few exceptions. Just one exception, he corrected. Hypothetically. Alright, with one exception then. I was thrilled he was playing along, but I tried to seem casual. You forgot to mention it was hypothetically, Bella. How does that work? What are the limitations? How would that someone find someone else at exactly the right time? How would he know she was in trouble? I wondered if my convoluted questions even made sense. Hypothetically? He asked. Sure. Well, if that's someone, let's call him Joe. Ah, yes, good old hypothetical Joe. He smiled wryly. Joe, then. If hypothetical Joe, beautiful Joe's less successful cousin, had been paying attention, the timing wouldn't have needed to be quite so exact. He shook his head, rolling his eyes. Only you could get into trouble in a town this small. You would have devastated their crime rate statistics for a decade, We were speaking of a hypothetical case, I reminded him frostily. He laughed at me, his eyes warm. Yes, we were. He agreed. Shall we call you Jane? How did you know? I asked, unable to curb my intensity. I realized I was leaning toward him again. Oh, that chemistry! It's like straight water with a bit of food coloring in it. Oh. Yeah. He seemed to be wavering, torn by some internal dilemma. His eyes locked with mine, and I guessed he was making the decision right then whether or not to simply tell me the truth. You can trust me, I murmured.
Apparently you did.
I reached forward without thinking to touch his folded hands, but he slid them away minutely. Minutely?
Minutely.
I'm just making sure she reaches toward him and he's like... reaches a little more... Just casually moving his hands all over the table while she's trying to break them. The lid. Freeze!
Oh boy. More SpongeBob.
It's just one of those nights.
I guess so.
What do you expect? I'm having to work with square jaw tight pants here. That's my new name forever, and I'm sticking with it. What, do you think I was talking about you?
Maybe.
I can't remember how tight you wear your pants, but I wouldn't
I don't.
square-jawed.
I'm
Mostly
wearing...
because there's a bit of a beard in the way.
There is a bit of a beard in the way. And I am currently wearing sweats, the least tight of pants.
This is true. I don't know if I have a choice anymore. His voice was almost a whisper. I was wrong. You're much more observant than I gave you credit for. No, you're just about as subtle as a goddamn train wreck! You stupid, meerkat-looking motherfucker!
Never letting that go.
I thought you were always right. I used to be. He shook his head again. I was wrong about you on one other thing as well. You're not a magnet for accidents. It's not a broad enough classification. You are a magnet for trouble. If there's anything dangerous within a 10-mile radius, it will invariably find you. And you put yourself into that category, I guessed. Bella, don't forget, he's dangerous. Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Damn it.
It just keeps coming back.
Yep.
It keeps going back.
His face turned cold, expressionless, unequivocally. I stretched my hand across the table again, ignoring him when he pulled back slightly once more to touch the back of his hand shyly with my fingertips. His skin was cold and hard. Like a stone, Luigi! You didn't make that! No, Edward is not a football. Shut up. Don't need to watch more YouTube poops.
Yep.
That's a phrase I never thought I'd have to say.
I said, if I'm going to hang out with you lot, I am definitely going to have to watch more. Mostly you and Ifrit, though. Really.
Especially Ifrit.
Especially Ifrit.
Especially Ifrit. Yeah, well, what I love about the guy.
That's true.
Thank you. My voice was fervent with gratitude. It's twice now. His face softened. Let's not try for 3. Agreed? I scowled, but nodded. Just remembering Gabriel Iglesias' reaction to the cop telling him, try to keep that tank under 100.
Yeah.
Just... Gabriel Iglesias' best Bella Swan.
Oh no, that's an image I never thought I'd have in my head.
Oh
Kinda
God.
wishing I hadn't created that image.
Now
What have I done?
you see what you've done.
No! Okay, moving on. He moved his hand out from under mine, placing both of his under the table, but he leaned toward me. I followed you to Port Angeles, he admitted, speaking in a rush. Stalker! Who knew? I've never tried to keep a specific person alive before, and it's much more troublesome than I would have believed. But that's probably just because it's you. Ordinary people seem to make it through the day without so many catastrophes. I mean, he's kind of not wrong. It's almost like her entire life is a massive plot contrivance.
Mm.
I wonder. He paused. I wondered if it should bother me that he was following me.
Yes!
Instead, I felt a strange surge of pleasure.
Next.
God.
Oh my.
Oh, believe me, I already had my response to that.
Yep.
God of soundboards.
Yep.
He stared, maybe wondering why my lips were curving into an involuntary smile. That makes 2 of us. Possibly 4. Did you ever think that maybe my number was up the first time with the van and that you've been interfering with fate? I speculated, distracting myself. That wasn't the first time, he said, and his voice was hard to hear. I stared at him in amazement, but he was looking down. Your number was up the first time I met you. He's dangerous. God, this fucking guy.
Yep.
I felt a spasm of fear at his words and the abrupt memory of his violent black glare that first day. But the overwhelming sense of safety I felt in his presence stifled it. By the time he looked up to read my eyes, there was no trace of fear in them. You remember? He asked, his angel's face grave. That's a bit of a... That's a bit of a... Like, that's not a... Grammatically, it's fine. It's just a little...
It's weird.
Is code not functional or elegant? What do code monkey think?
And now you're on a JC. Kick.
Oh, come on. How can I not be? The man's a genius.
Well, that's true.
Yes, I was calm. And yet, here you sit. There was a trace of disbelief in his voice. He raised one eyebrow. Yes, here I sit. Because of you. I paused. Because somehow you knew how to find me today, I prompted. He pressed his lips together, staring at me through narrowed eyes, deciding again. His eyes flashed down to my full plate and then back to me. You eat, I'll talk, he bargained. I quickly scooped up another ravioli and popped it into my mouth. It's like working with a 5-year-old, isn't it?
So it seems.
It's harder than it should be, keeping track of you. Because that's not at all terrifying.
No.
Usually I can find someone very easily once I've heard their mind before. He looked at me anxiously and I realized I had frozen. I made myself swallow, then stabbed another ravioli and tossed it in. You're... It sounds less like eating and more like garbage detail. Ravioli, ravioli, put it in the trashuoli.
Get inside my tummy, Wally.
Sure. Get in my belly, Oli! What fat bastard, I didn't know you were part Italian. I'm not, I just like ravioli. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, he would totally say that too.
Yeah, I think he's yet to find a piece. I think he's yet to find an edible that he doesn't enjoy.
Probably.
Yeah, this is fat bastard we're talking about.
And if it exists, it's probably only because it says sugar-free on the box.
God damn it! You caught me while I had juice in my mouth.
Perfect.
Oh, how do I always manage to do that?
I almost spit out my juice.
Almost. Gonna have to try harder next time.
I was keeping tabs on Jessica, not carefully. Like I said, only you could find trouble in Port Angeles. And at first I didn't notice when you took off on your own. Then when I realized that you weren't with her anymore, I went looking for you at the bookstore I saw in her head. I could tell that you hadn't gone in and that you'd gone south. And I knew you would have to turn around soon. So I was just waiting for you, randomly searching through the thoughts of people on the street. Because that's not creepy. See if anyone had noticed you, so I would know where you were. I had no reason to be worried, but I was strangely anxious. I mean, if there's anything we've established, it's that she can't go anywhere without adult supervision.
Definitely.
He was lost in thought, staring past me, seeing things I couldn't imagine. I started to drive in circles, still listening. The sun was finally setting, and I was able to get out and follow you on foot. Which should be a little red flag, I suppose. But again, this book is about as subtle as a train wreck.
Very true.
Then he stopped, clenching his teeth together in sudden fury. He made an effort to calm himself. Then what? I whispered. He continued to stare over my head. I heard what they were thinking, he growled, his upper lip curling slightly back over his teeth. I saw your face in his mind. He suddenly leaned forward, one elbow appearing on the table, his hand covering his eyes. The movement was so swift it startled me. It was very hard, you can't imagine how hard, for me to simply take you away and leave them alive. His voice was muffled by his arm. Oh, excuse me, I'm doing this wrong. I could have let you go with Jessica and Angela, but I was afraid if I left them alone, I would go looking for them. He admitted in a whisper. Okay, I got both of those wrong. I'm sorry. I sat quietly.
You'd have no idea until you got to the end anyway.
I sat quietly, dazed, my thoughts incoherent. My hands were folded in my lap, and I was leaning weakly against the back of the seat. He still had his face in his hand, and he was as still as if he'd been carved from the stone his skin resembled.
Okay. Stephanie Meyer,
vampires,
is his
everybody.
face muffled in his arm or his hands? Make up your mind.
I suppose having it muffled in his arm doesn't really make much sense, really, now that I think about it. Yeah, this doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you'd do when you're stressed. It just seems a little weird. Why am I doing this again?
To prove a point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, because muffled in your face in your arm just makes you sound like Kenny from South Park. I think I proved my point.
Oh my god, you referenced Kenny. You bitch.
Yes, I did.
Well, that was certainly a thing that happened.
Oh, yes.
Doo-ka-doo-ka-doo. Hands. Yes, finally he looked up, his eyes seeking mine, full of his own questions. Are you ready to go home? He asked. I'm ready to leave, I qualified, overly grateful that we had the hour-long ride home together. I wasn't ready to say goodbye to him. Ugh. As I mentioned, I hate romance. I think it might have come up a few times.
Probably.
The waitress appeared as if she'd been called. Or watching. How are we doing? She asked Edward. We're ready for the check, thank you. His voice was quiet, rougher, still reflecting the strain of our conversation. It seemed to muddle her. He looked up, waiting. Sure, she stuttered. Here you go. She pulled out a small leather folder from the front pocket of her black apron and handed it to him. There was a bill in his hand already. He slipped it into the folder and handed it right back to her. No change, he smiled. Then he stood up and I scrambled awkwardly to my feet. She smiled invitingly at him again. You have a nice evening. He didn't look away from me as he thanked her. I suppressed a smile. He walked close beside me to the door, still careful not to touch me. I remember what Jessica had said about her relationship with Mike, how they were almost to the first kiss stage. Ship-boopy, 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 that girl who's hard to get. You make it too easy, Twilight, you make it too damn easy.
That they do.
I sighed. Edward seemed to hear me, and he looked down curiously. I looked at the sidewalk, grateful that he didn't seem to be able to know what I was thinking. He opened the passenger door, holding it for me as I stepped in, shutting it softly behind me. I just need to stress, you don't need to narrate every single action of every single character, but you keep doing it anyway. Which I suppose is really appreciated by those of your readers with a double-digit IQ, but otherwise... Really?
Patty,
Yep.
patty, patty.
What, did she get paid by the fucking word? Answer, probably.
We'd see more,
Yeah, okay.
It would be a much longer book if that was the case.
It's already pretty goddamn long.
It just feels long.
Yeah, sure. I watched him walk around the front of the car, amazed yet again by how graceful he was. Wow, he walks around cars like a gazelle. I probably should have been used to that by now, but I wasn't. I had a feeling Edward wasn't the kind of person anyone got used to. I don't know. I can safely say I already find him rather boring. Once inside the car, he started the engine and turned the heater on high. It had gotten very cold, and I guess the wood weather? I guess the good weather was at an end. I can read, I swear! Just not very good at it tonight for some reason.
Apparently.
I was warm in his jacket, though, breathing in the scent of it when I thought he couldn't see. That's some good Edward scent. Seriously, Bella, perv. Edward pulled out through the traffic, apparently without a glance, flipping around to head toward the freeway. No, seriously. Audi driver. Like, 100%. This is the sort of thing I expect out of an overpriced German luxury sedan driver. Because boy, do I have some experiences with them.
I'm sure you do.
Well, considering one of them rear-ended me once and tried to blame it on me.
Oh.
Now, he said significantly, it's your turn. Except no, it fucking isn't, because we are done for the night.
Yes. End of chapter.
Oh, good.
And thank fuck for that.
Oh,
I mean, on the
yeah.
bright side, shit happened for once.
Yes.
It wasn't very good
That is
shit.
true.
And somehow managed to be both predictable and also written in such a way as to suggest that it wasn't even what was happening. Like, if they were trying to stalk her to get her into position to, like, gang rape her or something, which is, pretty clearly what was implied,
Yeah.
they weren't doing a very good job of it.
Not particularly.
It just... Yeah.
Okay, I do have to say I did look ahead at the next chapter. We kind of sort of have 9 pages. It's really only 8 pages and 1 line on the 9th page.
I'm not complaining, but but I'm also
Yeah.
not doing it tonight.
I know.
And I'm sure everybody who's listening, all 3 of you, so you guys and one mystery viewer, are very disappointed about that. Well, you guys maybe not so much, but our one mystery viewer, I'm sure, is quite disappointed.
Absolutely torn up, I'm sure.
Too bad. Yeah, I'm just... you can probably tell, but my voice is feeling really strained right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of thing doesn't happen too often, but I get the feeling tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to be able to say anything at all. And I'm sure that everybody's going to be quite worried about that, but quite frankly, considering we're continuing to do this stream, I consider it worth it. Like, as much as I hate Twilight, and oh boy do I hate Twilight, I am
Couldn't tell.
greatly enjoying doing this, and I really hope what few watchers we do have at the moment are enjoying it as well, because, yeah, I don't know. This is just kind of a good way to spend a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm very glad you guys have been able to join me for this. And, of course, you in the audience as well, those of you watching on the live stream right now, all one of you, and whoever might come across this later on. And on that note, I think it's about time we wrapped up here. If you want to keep up with us a little bit if you want to keep up with this, go ahead and meander on down to our Facebook or our Out of Context Tumblr blog, where you'll be able to, respectively, keep track of what we're doing, both in regards to the stream and in regards to our own private ventures, and, perhaps more importantly, submit and read over some of the strange stuff that we've said on this stream, immortalized in print for all eternity, or at least until the internet dies. So, all eternity, really, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
End of line.